Shalom Avrocha, peace and blessings. So I want to elaborate a little more about what we spoke about yesterday in regards to finding the השמים, which is the entryway to your to the inner peace, to our inner peace, the Gan Eden. The Gan Eden, it's the Garden of Eden. So as we enter in the space, as we're coming down the Seder Shtalshel is entering in the space of Olam Asiyah, and Olam Asiyah has many different levels. There is Asiyah, but then there's Asiyah, Sheba Asiyah, Malchus, Sheba Malchus, Sheba Malchus, which is the reflection of reflection. We're talking about, as the light enters in Atzilus, there's the four worlds. We have Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. As the light enters in Atzilus, it's still one. It's still Iver Gemoy Echad. It's he and the Kalim and the energy and the oil it's not energy, it's oil. The Kalim and the oil is still one. And they go through from there, from Ak, from Adam Kadmon, there's different levels of filtration systems of how the light comes through. But then before it enters in at Malchus the Atzilus, there's a mesech, there is a curtain. There's a curtain, it's a plastic curtain, let's just say. It's a very thick curtain, which means that the light that comes through, that shines through the curtain is really what we're getting is only a reflection from the other side. It's almost like a shower curtain, and then the light inside comes through that curtain. So it seeps through, but what comes through is b'chlal not from the mahus or the same texture of what's happening. It's almost like the message is completely a different message, so to speak. So and then we have Bria, Yitzira, Asiya, different levels of Neshama level, and then the midas, the attributes, and then we're going into action world, the world of action, which is the world of robotic world. This is the world that we live in. And then in that world itself, there's also Asiya, Shabasiya, Malchus, Sheba Malchus, which is the struggles that we're dealing with, the foods that we eat, whatever we ingest, and whatever we take in, whatever we breathe, so on and so forth. That means that we're not even getting the right oxygen, the right fuel. It's not possible. We don't have enough voltage to process higher consciousness. But that is all in Indian Gred. But of course, with Torah, and we have different connections through bris of the bris kodesh, and then we have candle lighting, chalas, and different the mitzvahs, that the big ones that we're connected with, that we're penetrating and opening up that mesech, which is opening up so we can receive, going through different tunnels through Yom Tovim and Shabbos, that we're going into vibrations that we are there, because inside of us we have that a piece of that from Malchus Datzilus, we have a piece of that neshama inside that doesn't rest until it gets that connection. But ultimately, we need to understand that while being here in Golos, being in exile, that we are completely enclosed in a place that we don't even know where it's at. We don't know what we're looking for. It's been years and years, many years, 2,000 years, that we don't even know what we're looking for. And going forward, as time is pushing us forward, and we keep running forward to tomorrow, and I want to get to next year, and I want to get to when I'm here, and I want to get to there. We have different goals that we have set in front of us, which is set up, the system is set up for us, that we're looking forward, almost like behemoths that have the eyes are covered, the blinders on the side of the eye, and all I can see is going forward. But what we're understanding from the Torah, what is being revealed to us, because the Torah carries all the secrets, all the codes of how to maneuver and where it's at, is telling us to where the Shara Shemayim is. Where is there is getting to the place by going forward and getting to the end of it, coming out of the desert, coming out of the ocean from the fog and being able to see clear. But then the most powerful and deepest connection that we have is going inside. That's where the umbilical cord is. Like when you're going in, you find yourself in the ocean, in the sea of Shara Shamayim. You enter a space of the inner child. It's important to one of the biggest lessons that we get is the biggest teachings and awarenesses that we get is from our children. Our children are a manifestation. They're a direct projection of the father and the mother and of Creator, of Eibishter. Our triggers that we're getting around the kids is direct triggers of what they are projecting, what they want, because they're coming from a place of innocence, and we can't supply it to them because it wasn't given to you. Therefore, you can't give it. We hurt what we were hurt. But when we go into, when we start practicing mindfulness and awareness, we start going into inside to the inner self and noticing those triggers, that's when we connect to our inner child through what our child wants. So it's important to be mindful that when you're looking at your 2-year-old or your 7-year-old, you're not looking at a 2-year-old or a 7-year-old. You're looking at 2 years of disguise, 2 years of mesech, of covering over that ocean of Shara Shamayim, that gateway of consciousness, of pureness, of tmimus, of where it's real, where the light is really at, and we're distracted by trying to go forward, but by becoming mindful when looking at a kid. It's when a child speaks, it's more powerful and more pure than any type of Torah that the biggest Lamdan learns, because their vibration, their vessel, where they're coming from is pure. And where it's coming from such a place of truth, it's the launching pad is from such a place of emes that it penetrates everything. I mean, that's why the focus in everywhere, but especially in Chabad, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was busy with the kids. I mean, all the emphasis that he put was on the kids. All the emphasis that Pari put on, where he put on, was also on the kids. He did not want to let the kids go when they wanted to go out for 3 days to celebrate. He did not want the kids to go because he understood that if the kids are going to start speaking from a place of presence, then that's gonna dissolve everything. It's gonna take away the whole contraption, the whole Pisan Varam says everything that he built, everything is gonna collapse. The whole structure is gonna fall apart. So we're in the Chodesh of Gula. So the Kislev is the month of Gula. It's the month of where the Tamayim Biyat Tahorim, the impure into the hands of the pure. Ravim Biyat Ma'atim, the more are in the hands of the less, which means that really percentage-wise, our level of awareness is the less, is not in favor. We're more outnumbered. The choshech is outnumbered by the light, but yet the little light is the string. That's the core. That's the core and the cord that we're entering into the portal of where we're going inward into the inner child through our children. So if you're asking the question, if you're on your journey, deep in your journey, and you're asking the question, where do I go? What do I do? How do I download all this information? I mean, Chassidus and Kabbalah and Torah and Nigla. There's so much to learn to get somewhere. By simply going to the child, start listening to the child, start paying attention to the child. The best deal that we can download and look and connect to is by listening to the children, understanding to what they're saying, respecting the children, literally respecting the children, as crazy as it sounds. Doesn't mean to give them whatever they want, but it means that really to pay attention to their innocence, because really what they have to say is the truth, and all the other stuff they're saying is because nobody's interested in their truth. So therefore, they also distract themselves with the same way we distract ourselves. That is the gateway to where we want to go to Yerushalayim, to the inner peace, the inner redemption. Have an awesome day.